Make the ground shake.
Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Gummy, and today we're back once again for another Fortnite build tutorial. This is going to be the biggest one we have done so far on the channel, and this is going to be a modern skyscraper slash hotel slash apartment block. So essentially, before we begin, I'm going to give you the rundown of the kind of presets you need. Again, if you want to access the presets, you simply go on the creative menu and you can find all of them right here. So in terms of the ones you're going to need to build this build, you're going to need 6 in total. That's going to be the Modern House Gallery, the Castle Tower Gallery, the Castle Gallery B, Clock Tower Gallery, Noms Gallery, and Office Gallery. Now, of course, I appreciate I've gone quite fast there, but we're going to go through it a bit slower as we go through each item from each gallery. So let's head on over to here, where I've handily already put them out. So we're going to go from left to right. We're going to do the walls and kind of other stuff first, and then we'll get to the floors afterwards. So, in terms of the first one, we have this arch made out of grey stone brick. This is from the Castle Tower Gallery. Once again, that is the Castle Tower Gallery. So, yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a picture in the corner, just to, again, make it easier for you to find it. Next to that, we have this, again, stone kind of brick wall out of grey. And this is, once again, from the Castle Tower Gallery. Next to this, we have this more sandstone-like creamy brick wall. This is from the Castle Tower Gallery once again. Next to that, we have the same material, but this time it's got a brown wooden door. This is from the Office Gallery. Once again, that is the Office Gallery. Next to that, we have the same variation, but in window form. This is from the Office Gallery once again. Next to this, we have this kind of stone staircase with the railings either side. This is from Castle Gallery B. Once again, that is Castle Gallery B. Next to this, we've got our first kind of stone railing. This is from the Clock Tower Gallery. So again, that's the Clock Tower Gallery. Next to that, we have a slightly different variation. It's a more bulky one. This is the one you'd use at the top of the building. And once again, this is from the Clock Tower Gallery. Next to that, we have this kind of little sandstone pillar. That is, once again, from the Clock Tower Gallery. We've, of course, got the edge variations of the walls that we had previously, and these are both from the Clock Tower Gallery. So, moving on to the floors, we first off had this, like, grey, I want to say concrete floor. I know it's not very descriptive, but this is from the Office Gallery. Next to that, we have this kind of square tiled flooring. And this is from the Noms Gallery. So once again, that is the Noms Gallery. Next to that, we have this cracked kind of white concrete floor. That's once again from the Noms Gallery. Next to that, we have this kind of black concrete floor with the line going through the middle. This is again from the Noms Gallery. It's the one actually in the back left corner of the preset, because it will have the underside which looks like this. So there's a few different variations. This one is, in my opinion, the better one. If you're going to be using it for a ceiling, like we will be. Next to that, we have this kind of square tiled flooring again, this one being more of a smaller variation, and this is from the Modern House Gallery. And then next to that, we have this half kind of block, which is once again from the Modern House Gallery. So hopefully, everyone should have all of these items, I want to say, or blocks in front of you. And once we have got them, we're ready to begin building. Just before the video starts, again, as a quick little plug, if you do enjoy my content and want to support my channel, then please consider, if you're playing Fortnite, using the Support a Creator feature. So if you go to the item store in the bottom right corner, you've got the Support a Creator button. If you enter the code GUMMMYYY, so Gummy, but 3 M's and 3 Y's, you'll be helping me, supporting me directly through purchasing stuff in-game. So that could be skins, emotes, gliders, battle pass, anything you buy in-game. It doesn't cost you anything more, and it sends me a few pennies for every purchase you make. So again, thank you, and let's get straight into the video. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a nice empty space in your area. Of course, I'm building on the block, so that's not an issue. And then we can get straight into building. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to grab ourselves our staircase. We're going to find, again, roughly a plain area. I'm going to do it slightly over, just so we have space. And you're going to place 2 of your staircases next to each other, like so. what we're then going to do is we're going to grab ourselves our grey wall, I'm going to call it, and either side of our staircases we're going to place a grey wall. What we're then going to do is, using this wall, we are going to build to the left 1 and to the right 1. So currently it looks something like this, and this is kind of the front of the building. So of course, if you've seen the thumbnail, I didn't really mention it, but we're going to have an underground car park as the base level. So it's not really underground, but under building car park. And then the reception / foyer area is going to be on floor number 1. So from this one here, what we're going to do is we are going to head round to the right side, 1, 2. We're then going to go 1, 2 to the right, and it's going to give us a corner shape which looks something like this. Continuing round, we're then going to go to the right one more, and we're going to go over. So again, it's wrapping around the side, and of course, if you saw from the thumbnail, we've got the front entrance, and then we've got a side entrance. So from this entrance here, we're once again going to grab our stairs. We're going to place 1, 2 inwards. So again, it's in front of this block, and we're once again going to place a block at the side, on the left side and the right side. So currently the floor plan should look something like this. Just to make it even, we are going to place a wall right here on the front right corner, and again right now should look like this. So this is the kind of base of the front and the side entrance. Continuing round to the rear side now, so this is going to be the rear side of the building, this part here. We're once again going to grab ourselves our wall, and we're going to place 1, 2, we're then going to leave a 2 gap, and then we're going to place 1, 2, and in this 2 gap we are going to grab our arched block, this one here, and we're going to place 2 of them, and this is going to act as the entrance to the car park. That is the rear side, so the base of the rear side. For the final side, it's relatively plain. All we're going to do is go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 out of our kind of stone wall, and that's going to wrap up the foundations of the building. So from above, it should look something like this, and again, if you want to pause, you are more than welcome to do so. Now, in terms of the car park, this kind of base floor here, what we're going to do is we're going to grab ourselves our grey concrete floor, and we're going to fill in all the area in here using that material. It doesn't really matter which way you place it, as long as you just fill the whole area in. On the block, of course, it's not going to look too different to the already existing floor, but if you are building on, say, the grass, then it's going to be huge, and you want to make sure to get it done as quickly as possible. So you can see here, it's a bit tricky to actually see where I'm placing it and where's already the generic kind of floor. But once you've done it, you'll see that your car park should look something like this. Now, just to avoid the open staircases in your car park, what we're going to do is behind the stairs, we're going to place 2 walls, and we're going to do this on both sides. And again, that means that once you're actually in the car park, all you'll see is this, and you'll have lots of areas where you can place down cars, rather than just seeing the rear of a staircase. So yeah, with that said and done, that is the kind of main front complete. And now what we're going to do is we're going to head around to the front side, and we're going to start building up the front side of the building. Now, of course, as I said, the sun is slowly going down, so what I'm going to do is when it gets dark, I'll pause the video and I'll come back when it's slightly lighter. But for now, let's continue, get some progress done, and then when it does eventually get dark to the point where the video is not as easy to see, we'll pause and continue. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab ourselves our little kind of cream wall with the brown windows, and on top of the front side, so we've got these 2 areas that kind of stick forwards, this one and this one. On top of them, we're going to place a window like so, and then to the sides of that, we're going to place a plain kind of sandstone / wall. So on this side, on the left side of that window, and then same with this one, right side and left side. Now, it's important you have the brick on the exterior, because the interior will have this kind of weird texture. You want to make sure that's the interior and not the exterior. So once you've got that, it looks something like this. Now, as I said, what I'm going to do now is quickly pause the video, and I'll be right back once the video is, or once the, I guess, world is a little bit lighter and it's easier to see. Okay, so continuing now with the video, what we're going to do is we are going to grab ourselves the sandstone door variation, And in between the two walls we placed previously, right in front of the stairs, we're going to place our 2 doors. And it ends up looking something like this. What we're going to do is above everything we've just placed, we're going to grab ourselves our wall variation. I'm going to add a second layer now. So building all around the blocks or materials we just placed, again add a second layer using the plain material. And it ends up looking something like this. Now, in terms of the actual door arch, we're going to grab ourselves this little, I don't know what to call it, like half slab, half block. We're going to grab it, and we want to make sure that the little edge is on the outer side, so towards us, and just above the door, place 2 of them, and that's going to add as a little kind of canopy over the doorway and give the building a little bit more shape. Now, in terms of the next stage, on top of the front, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our window, and we're essentially going to place, where we placed the previous windows, a window, and we're going to place where we placed the 2 doors, 2 windows. So it's the exact same kind of reasoning, exact same logic. In the empty gaps, we're going to place our walls, and just like we did on the previous part, we're then going to go around the shape that we've just built and add a second layer. So again, right now, the main building itself should be 4 layers tall, and of course with the little car park, it is 5 layers tall. So right now, it looks something like this. So that is the front side of the building so far. Of course, we're going to be adding a bit more to it in a second, but for now, it should look like this. Now we're going to work our way around to the side of the building, more in this side, so the right side. And what we're going to start off by doing is grabbing ourselves our doors. To the right of this wall we just placed previously, we're going to place a door on either side, and then to the right of the doors, we're going to place a wall. Now above this, we're going to place 3 simple walls, and that's going to be a floor on its own. What we're then going to do is grab ourselves this 4 tile pattern, and we're going to place 1 right in between the 2 doors, and then 1 forwards and 1 to the side. Now around these, we will place our little concrete walls, the smaller variation, this one here. But what we're going to do is grab ourselves this pillar, and in the front left corner, this one here, and the front right corner, we're going to place 2 of those pillars, and that's going to continue up to the upper balcony. So again, for now, this is the lower half of the building. So if you want to pause the video, catch up if you need to, you're more than welcome to. And what we're going to do is we're going to replicate the exact same for the next 2 floors. So we've got our 2 doors, and then we've got our 1 wall, and then the next layer, which is going to consist of just walls. Just like before, in line with the doors, we're going to place a 4 tile block, and then forwards and to the right. And what we're going to do to link the first and second floor is, in line with the previous pillars, we're going to place 2 more pillars, and that's going to act as supports for this little balcony. So again, right now, it should look something like this. So that is the front right corner of the build. In regards to the next section, which is kind of the little side entrance, we're going to do the exact same as we did on this side. So we're going to grab ourselves our window. So we start off by placing a window on this forward section, and we do the exact same on this side. Once we've done that, we're going to grab ourselves our wall block, or should I say our sandstone wall block, and we want to make sure not to do what I just done there. So if you've done that, rotate it, or delete it, it's just pretty easier, because I'm not actually sure what the rotate key is on Xbox. So again, 1 on each side, and 1 on the right side. So that is the first layer, and again, in this little 2 block gap between the stairs, we're going to add ourselves 2 doors. So again, 1, 2. Above that, so that's the first layer, we're going to do a solid layer of our sandstone bricks. So again, that is a solid layer of our sandstone bricks. And just like we did on the other side, with that little area above the doorway, we're going to add a little almost balcony or canopy just above the doors. So 1, 2. So that is the first row of the right side complete. Just like we did on the other side, the next side, or the next layer, is going to be, again, 1, 2 windows. Above the doorway, 1, 2 windows, and the remaining areas is going to be out of the walls. So again, we do a solid layer of walls. And once you've done that, that is going to be this side of the building complete. So again, exact same as the previous side. From the front, it looks like this. If you want to pause the video, you're more than welcome to do so. So the next step is we're going to head round to the rear side of the building, the side where the car park entrance is. This side is very, very easy to do, so without wasting any time, let's get straight into it. So we're going to start off by grabbing ourselves a window. Right next to this first wall, we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4 windows, and then we're going to place one of our walls. Above this, we're going to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 walls. And above this, starting from the left side, we're going to place 1, 2, 3 walls. Now it's important you leave a 2 gap. Above this, we're going to do the exact same, so 1, 2, 3. Again, it's important you leave a 2 gap. So from a rear perspective, that is what the rear side currently looks like. It will look a lot more interesting once we actually add the finishing details. But for now, again, very simple, very easy to do. So let's head around to the final side, which is the left side of the building. Once again, it's going to start off with a wall. So we have one wall. We're then going to have one of our windows, 2 doors, a window, and then, of course, the wall that's already here. Now above this, we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of our simple sandstone walls. And above this, starting from the left side, we're going to leave 1, 2, and we're going to place 1. We're then going to place 2 doors, and that will meet up. And above this, we're going to place 1, 2, 3 walls. So again, we have this kind of gap in the corner. Now in this corner, what we're going to do is we're going to build in 1, 2, and then to the side, 1, 2, and then up a second layer. And in this area, there's going to be a little balcony, a little rooftop, just to add some shape to the building. So we're going to grab ourselves the black floor. This is the material I've chosen to use for all the roofs. And we're going to go ahead and fill this 2x2 area in using this material. So again, as you can see, that's going to be a little rooftop, and it just makes this a little less square. So anyways, from a side perspective, this is where it currently looks like. What we are going to do is we're going to add some balconies here, just so it's not so plain. So starting off, we are going to grab ourselves our little 2x2 tile, and in front of the windows here, we're going to place a row of 3, 4, 5, 6 of those blocks. So again, it looks something like this. Grabbing ourselves the little pillar, we are going to place 1 on either side, so on the first block and the last one, and we're also going to leave 1, place 1, leave 1, place 1, just to give it again a little bit more like perceived support. And right now, that is what it looks like. On the upper section, this one here, just in front of the doors, we're going to place, again, 4. So starting from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one isn't going to have those beams going up, but it will have a kind of perimeter using our edges, which we're going to get to in a second. But for now, this is what the side of the build looks like. Again, I'm trying to give you as many different angles as possible. I appreciate my chicken character is a bit in the way, but unfortunately, there's no way to disable that. So anyways, for now, this is what the build looks like. If you want to pause, feel free. What we're going to do is we're going to fill in a little bit of roof section, and then we're going to go ahead and start adding all the perimeter kind of outlines and finishing up this first stage of the building, which is kind of like the reception and then first floor. So go ahead and grab yourself the black floor block, come to the side with the doorway and to the left corner. What we're going to do is we're going to place 1, go forwards, to the right, 1, 2, 3, forwards, like so. So it's got this kind of arch shape. We're then going to come to the side, which also, and again, one thing to make sure is that you keep it the same position, otherwise the line will change. So come to the other side with the door, once again, front left corner, place 1, forwards, 1, 2, 3 to the right, and forwards. Now what we're going to do is we're going to join these two sections by 1 block in the middle, and once you've done that, it looks something like this, and that's going to be the rooftop for this section, and that will then entail to the next section, which is going to be the actual kind of big tower, which is going to be the different floors. So before we worry about that, what we are going to do is we're going to add the floors inside the building. So grab yourselves the little 4x4 tiles, and what we're going to do is we're going to go inside the building, And on the first and second floor, we're going to add these blocks. So again, in line with the first floor, it's going to be a solid row of these blocks. And then the second floor is going to be the exact same. And this just marks out the space you're working with, gives you a nice open area, and you can start adding the interior if you want to do so. Again, as I said, I don't know if I did say this actually, but I'm not going to be doing the interior in this tutorial. If you do want an interior video in the future, please do let me know in the comments section below. So again, with the floors, you do leave a 2 gap rather than 1. The building, or each floor in this building, is going to be too tall. Otherwise, it just is a bit claustrophobic. So that's the reason we went with this decision. So again, you're just filling in the floor. It's a bit tedious, but it's good to get out of the way. And once we've got that, that is basically minus the edging, the first part of the video complete. So again, on this top floor, you just fill in the areas that aren't already filled in with the black block, like so. And yeah, that is the floors done. So what we are going to do is we're going to start adding our edges. Now with the edges, they can be a bit fiddly, they can be a bit of a pain, but we are going to make an effort. So before the sun goes down, we'll quickly grab the block. So we want to go for the smaller variation of these 2 walls for now. And we are going to go to the front side of the build. Now, the way we're going to do this is, this window here is going to be our first starter block. We're going to place 1, and then we're going to go to the left one. What we're then going to do is, we are going to go to the right, so it links up like that, and we're going to do it all the way around in line with this. So all the way around the building on this same level. It's going to cover up some of the window, kind of the bottom bit, but that's fine. You do this all the way around, and it wraps around this balcony and links back round to the front side. And as you can see, it already makes it look a ton better. Now, I appreciate it's getting dark. What we're going to do is we're going to pause the video. Once again, once it lightens up a bit, I'll be back. We're going to continue and finish up the build. Okay, so continuing with what we kind of left off with, what we're going to do is, in each corner, we're going to grab ourselves this little corner block of the appropriate slab wall, and in each of the corners, we're going to place 1, just so it's not this kind of sharp edge, as you currently see there. So, of course, these can be a bit of a pain to actually get in the right position, but as I said before, you'll eventually get it. So there we go, that's that one, and that one. We head round to each corner, and we just repeat this appropriately. So there we go, and then the final side. And what this does, again, as I said, just makes it look smoother, and it makes it look a tiny bit more detailed. Otherwise, you kind of have these sharp edges, as you saw before. So that is the first floor complete, and as you can see, what these walls do is they split up the build quite nicely. Rather than it being just a plain wall, it's now got kind of a different segment. So it segments the build nicely, and that's why I've chose to add it. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue this on the second layer now. So once again, we start off in front of this front window, and we're going to wrap all the way around the building, following the shape that we have with the previous walls. So that includes the balconies, but of course it's just mainly the actual front side of the walls. Now what I will say, and this is something that I didn't actually do here, and it's something that I almost forgot about, is rather than wrapping around this inside curve here, we're actually going to build straight across. And in this 2 block gap here, we're going to grab ourselves our little 2x2s, and we're going to place them in there. And that's going to act, once again, as another window/balcony area. So you can replace these with doors if you want to. I'll talk about that more in a second. So once again, once you get around to this side, you just build straight across and just wrap around the rest of the building. So nice and simple. Curve around for the balcony, and then all the way back, round to the front side. So once we've done that, and if I can actually stay in the air, we are going to, just like we did before, add our corners. So using the same block, or the same little edge, we are going to add our corners. Again, once you find the right rotation, it's pretty simple. It's just the point of finding it. There we go. So that's that one. Then we've got our next corner. And what I've found as well is often it's more about how you're positioned standing rather than how you rotate it, whether it'll actually work or not. So again, bear that in mind. Sometimes it can be a bit fiddly, as you're seeing here, sometimes a bit easier. So that is the corners complete, and just like I did at the front side, on the other side we are going to add our little 2x2, and once again you can replace the windows with doors if you want to have this as an active balcony, or you can just keep them as windows if you want to keep it as a kind of just decorational balcony. What I'll do is I'm just going to add doors for now. It's optional. Again, if you want to keep windows, feel free to keep windows. So if I back up, this is what the build should look like so far. What we're going to do now is add a perimeter to the top of the build, and this one's going to be out of the bigger blocks. So this one here, the more chunky, bulkier one, we're going to do a perimeter. However, we want to make sure to only do a perimeter of the areas that have the black ceiling. So we do it all the way around, and once we've done that, we will again add the corner shapes, but this is only for the area that has this black flooring as the ceiling, because of course the actual area that's got the generic kind of floor is going to be continuing on for the actual building itself, and therefore is going to require the smaller one, otherwise it's going to look a bit weird. So we're going to grab ourselves the corner for this one. Again, slightly bulkier, makes it look a bit more grand, a bit more fancy, and once again we have the fun of just putting it in each and every corner. So let me try this, if it will go. And still struggling. Let's try that one. Nope. And this is the issue you may have, is as you saw, I rotated it several times and it just wouldn't work either way. So again, you just have to play around with positioning and you'll eventually get it. So as I continue to fill these in, you can see it gets slightly easier once you get used to it. We're going to add an edge onto this one here, as it is indeed going to fade in. Whoops, we want to again try and get it on that corner. There we go. It's going to fade into a smaller wall, so we do still want the edge, and same with this one. There we go. But for now, that is the main I guess edge around the top of this part of the building, which is going to end as we've ended it right there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little kind of spin around the building as it is in its current state. If you want to pause at any point, please feel free to do so. Again, this is more of an opportunity to catch up than it is anything else. Also, what I want to say is one thing I've just remembered, to add the little details there. So we'll wrap around and then we'll grab these little things here, and we're going to place right in front of this 2 doors. 1, 2, just again a little roof to make the rear of the car park stand out just a tiny bit more. So as I said, once we've done this, we're now ready to move on to the next stage, which is the tower stage. This is optional, how tall you want to make this. You can build it up to sky limit if you want a super tall skyscraper. In this case, I've built it for 4 floors. Again, I appreciate you might want to build it a bit more. So I'm going to go over the 4 floors, and then I'll leave it to you to extend it further. What we're going to start off by doing is grabbing ourselves our window blocks, and we're going to come to the front left corner right here. What we're going to do is we're going to place 3 windows in line with where the black and floor meet, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come around to the right side and do the exact same. So 3 windows, and again it meets the wall there, and it kind of curves around where we've built the floor. In this corner, we're going to place 2 walls, so 1, 2, and that is the first section. Above this, we're going to add a second layer on using the generic wall, and that's going to be our first floor, or at least the front side of our first floor. So again, as you can see, you've got the open bit of the top of the previous area. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come around to the right side with our wall, and we're going to place 2 of our walls, and then we're going to have a little balcony. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to curve inwards. We're then going to have a door, so we need to grab ourselves a door from somewhere. Again, with the wooden theme, we're going to place 1, 2, whoops, we'll move that forwards 1 block. So 1, 2 of our doors, and then a wall, and then we wrap around to the right side using 2 of our walls. Now above all of this, once again, we follow the shape using our sandstone style walls, and it gives you a shape that looks like this. So the floors are pretty small, but again, it's skyscraper, and it looks really bulky if we make it bigger, so that's the idea behind that. What we're going to do is we're going to grab our 2x2 tile area, And in line with these doors here, we're going to place a little right angled shape. So one and then left, or so one, right, and then forwards. And we're going to add an edge to it, again, using our walls. So the way we're going to do this is grab it. Next to this previous one, we're going to continue. So we place 1, 2, 3. Then we go corner, corner, corner. 1, 2. And it meets with the previous one, as I said before. What you're also going to do is come around to the front side with the windows, and you'll place 1, 2, 3, corner, corner, and then 1, 2, 3. And again, it links up with that kind of wall there. Once again, in the corners here, make sure to grab yourself this corner block, or this little corner edge, and also go around to the front side, as I almost forgot there, and add it in these two corners here. So again, 1, 2, simple enough. That is the first floor complete. So again, if I do a little spin around, that's the basic design. All we're doing from here on out is just replicating it as many times as you want. As I said, I'm going to be doing 4 floors, so I'm going to replicate this 3 times. The only reason I'm actually going to build this is because then it again reinforces what we're doing, but it also means I can show you the roof, which is going to be slightly different. So as I said, what we're going to do is just repeat it. So we'll do each side first. So for the front side, we do 3 windows, 3 walls, and then once again, 3 windows, 3 walls, and once more, 3 windows, and 3 walls. So that is going to be the 4 floors. From this corner here, we're just going to build up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, using our walls. Same with this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Heading around to the right side, exact same pattern as the front. So we've got a layer of 3 windows, a layer of 3 walls, a layer of 3 windows, our 3 walls, and our 3 windows, and to cap it off, the 3 walls. So, once we've done that, once again, that is the right side. So you can see here the 4 floors, each floor represented by a window and a wall. We're going to come around to the rear side. For this, once again, we're just going to build straight to the top using walls. And for this corner, for the first block, we're just going to do walls. So once again, all the way up to the top. The next section is just like the windows. So we do 2 doors, then we do wall, 2 doors, wall, 2 doors, whoops, and then a wall. So, final bit, just build up to the top using our walls, and then for the actual final side, once again, it's just all the way up to the top using plain walls. Now, in terms of each floor, just like we did before, we're going to fill it in with the exact same material, so the little 4x4 tiles, and each one is again going to be in line with the windows and the doors. So inside the building, we're going to do that. What I'm going to do is also replicate the balconies. So in line with the doors, you place one in front of each door, and then you're going to go to the left and to the right like so, to give us this little right angled shape. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Once you've added the exterior kind of outlining with this concrete wall here, which I'm going to do off camera, you've pretty much done what I've built. Once again, you replicate that over and over again to add more floors. So for each floor, you just have the 2 layers, and you replicate that, and you can build it all the way up to the top limit if you want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to finish up all the detailing, such as the floor and the outer kind of wall. And once that's done, I'll be right back when it's lighter, and we shall wrap up the video with the roof area. Okay, so as you can see, I have gone ahead and completed all of that. So I've added the outlines to each floor with the corners, and also gone ahead inside the building and filled it in with the appropriate material. So what we're going to do for the roof is we're going to start off by filling it all in with our material here. So the black kind of, I want to say road material, but it works really nicely for roofs, as you can see. And then what we're going to do is grab ourselves our bulkier of the little outline kind of concrete walls, and we're going to do a solid outline around the edge. And once again, we have the joy of filling in each and every one of those corners. So it'll be a very great amount of fun in a second. So again, what we're going to do is grab the bulkier corner, and in each corner we just place one like so, and it's being nice and easy actually, very peculiar. So we do this all the way around, and once we've done that, that is the main roof itself done. What I am going to do as an optional extra, and this is something you normally see with a lot of these tall buildings, is they have like aerials and signal receivers on the roof. We're going to grab ourselves this pillar, and just give the building a little bit of height. What we're going to do is, in each of the corners, so on one side, we'll just place it here. We will build up 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, that is not the fourth block I wanted. 4. And then on the right side, so we will just do it here. We're going to build up 1, 2, 3. And again, this just adds to the building. Normally buildings do this just so they get actually like taller, and they can then say that their building is taller than every other building. But again, it's an optional detail. I personally quite like it. Just kind of reinforces that it is indeed a skyscraper. And yeah, that is the tutorial complete. So if you want to add more floors, you're more than welcome to do so. I know right now it's a bit short to be a skyscraper, but the idea is that you can add another 10 floors. I'm not going to do that personally, just because the video will go on forever and it'll be too long. But yeah, apart from that, I really do hope you enjoyed the video, you found this useful. If you did, a like is very much appreciated. If you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you stay notified every time I upload, because apparently YouTube doesn't actually like to notify you these days unless you do so. And yeah, again, if you do buy anything on the store, whether that's skins, emotes, the camos, or the wraps, I guess you call them, then please consider using my code, which is GUMMYYY. So it's Gummy, but with 3 M's and 3 Y's, and it means every time you buy something, I get a small, tiny cut, but of course, when there's tons of you using it, it adds up really fast and helps me to continue doing this as a job. Once again, it's greatly appreciated if you do that. Please consider it does reset every 14 days, so it's not a thing where you just add it once and it's always that. Every 14 days it does reset and you have to reuse the code. So again, I appreciate anyone that wants me to support me in that way. And yeah, final thing, leave a comment saying what you want to see on the channel in terms of builds in the future. But for now, I'm going to end the video. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, my name has been Tom Gummy, and goodbye. Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light